Hello everybody. So this is a very special love reading that I'm going to do, and this is just kind of a general for all because of the nature of this, and I intend to do several of these throughout February since it is the month of love. But this reading I am going to be very specific. I'm not going to give a bunch of different variations on what the cards could mean. So basically, this is your love story or it's not. I'm going to get very in depth in it, much more than like my typical other videos. So if you're watching this and it's really resonating, it is your love story that Spirit's bringing through to give you information. If it's not resonating, it's not your love story. And like I said, I'll be doing several of these throughout the month of February. I am going to read with the Divine Masculine on this side and the Divine Feminine on this side. The only change that I recommend making is if you are like, oh my God, that's my story, and I'm a girl, but I'm on this side, and he is totally on that side. That's the only difference. Or if you're a male, obviously, and you're like, no, that's my side, and this is her side, okay? So that is the only change. If it doesn't resonate 100, it's not yours, but if it does, oh my gosh. So let's see what Spirit has in store for this particular reading. And, oh, okay, well, you know what? This right here, to me, just flopping out like that because I was about to pull the card to see what the current status is between you and this person, because this could be where we are currently on a break. But if we're on a break, it is my intention that this relationship returns to your life. So this reading is for not, you know, just like, oh, well, yeah, we're broken up. Oh, thanks for the information. No, this is if we're broken up. I don't want to pick up a story unless they're, you know, we're coming back together. And I made that very clear to Spirit before I started this. If we're together right now, then I want it to be a story that's going to last. That is my intention for this reading, that type of relationship. So with this flying out, a couple different things. The X, somebody, either the Divine Masculine or the Divine Feminine, there is an issue of an X, okay? A lot of energy of an X still existing within somebody's heart space. Now, we have to pull more information to see exactly what that means. Does it mean that you've never met this person yet and you have got to get over the X first? Or does this mean we've already met this person and what is in between us right now happens to be energy of an X? So let's see what Spirit is trying to say here. Current energy. Okay. So this here, children, to me as your current energy, this is definitely a newer relationship, or this is somebody you have yet to meet, okay, just because of this card flying out as the current status. And the issue of, you know, whether this person is coming to your life or not, or if they are in your life, what's kind of hindering the progression forward, why we kind of stay in this, you know, new stage where it's like we know each other and there's connection, but it's like, you know, it just doesn't progress beyond that right here. Okay, there is energy of an X. Now, because my intention for this reading is the relationship that's coming through actually is going to progress into something more, this is your answer. Like, why is this not progressing forward? What's going on here? This. Somebody needs to purge their energy of the X. So let's take a look and see how the Divine Masculine is coming through this reading and how the Divine Feminine is presenting in this reading. All right, so mirroring and numbing. All right, so I am going to say, just based on this, the Divine Masculine is the one that is having the X issue, okay? I feel this is more like the X is in his energy field, like he's still trying to work through some issues to get over, to get beyond that. I don't want to go this route. I don't, but numbing over here, it's just like, I'm tired of this. But, you know, if this is the X being over here, it's just like the divine masculine. Nope, that's not even it. Nope, this is, he's attached. It's the divine masculine that is having, you know, issues with X energy, his own X or X energy in your realm. So he's either still hung up or he doesn't like the interaction the divine feminine has with an X maybe attached to children. Okay, so again, X, very, very relevant. Let's pull some more cards. Let's pull some shadow messages here. And this is kind of like what's going on beneath the surface, maybe what's not being said. All right. I've looked you up online to see what you've been up to. And over here, how could you still love me after all I've done? Okay, so this is what I am getting. The divine masculine is just very distant. It's still attached to an X, okay? And over here, divine feminine is really just been through, even though we're showing as children, it's like, I can't take this anymore. Like, I've given you everything I can give. You know, I've been there, I've been understanding, I've been patient, and I don't know what your deal is. Like, I can't, okay? So even though this says, how could you still love me after all I've done? I don't feel this is divine feminine asking that of divine masculine. I feel like this is her feeling this in her own heart. Like, how can I, you know, how can I even give this a chance? But it's still such a part of her that she can't let go, but she's disconnecting. She wants to cut off. She can't, you know, take this X energy, this, you know, wedge between. It could be a fight. It could be like we just can't see eye to eye. Maybe the X, just for whatever reason, can't be gone if there's children involved, and it's just such a wedge between these two energies. But what's a wedge is a challenge, because I know this relationship is meant to prevail. So let's see kind of where that house that's falling into. All right, so why is the challenge of the X existing between the two of you? Because there is something that needs to change here. One or both of you need to kind of transform into a new version of yourself. We've got to leave old patterns, routines, habits, the way we went about doing things, thinking about things, just handling things. Like, that needs to change. So the reason why this wedge exists between these two is not because they're not meant to be together, but they've got to both overcome, okay? Overcome this together. Come to some sort of understanding, compromise, but it's a shift in consciousness, okay? Because even though I feel the divine masculine is the one that's kind of more pulling away, or maybe that's not even the right term. The divine feminine is really pulling away, but we remain kind of closed and not open, because we're still working on this energy, or we're very threatened by this energy over here in your life or in the divine feminine life. And we've got to have a complete shift in consciousness to overcome this, but it's there because it's meant for you or them to have this shift, so it can be overcome. It's not something that's going to defeat you in this relationship. Absolutely not. So let's pull some past, present, and future. All right, so we have Knight of Swords, yeah, and you know, this is where we're not really showing our emotions. We're not really speaking loving, tender words. It's more like factual, and this is what this is, and, you know, just kind of not a personal feeling that you get from somebody. It's more of a, you know, disconnected type of feeling. And the King of Cups is coming out with that. So it's like, here's this divine masculine, the King of Cups, but the way he presents himself to this divine feminine is more of this Knight of Swords energy, which is very painful and hurtful because, you know, the divine feminine, she feels this connection with this King of Cups, but this is what he presents to her. So it's very confusing to her. She doesn't understand. And then in the current, we have the Knight of Pentacles. So this is more of like a friend type of energy. And look at it's clarified by the Five of Wands. So this to me is where, and that's why, you know, this energy existing in between is also showing as children, is because right now I don't feel like this relationship is in a current status of committed, we're together, just you and I. I do not feel that whatsoever. If anything, we're broken apart somehow, some way. Even if we're still talking, it's only as friends because there's too much that we disagree on and cannot come to terms with in the current moment. And it's because there must be this shift, and it has everything to do with an ex. And so the divine masculine over here, he is definitely looking in on divine feminine, her social media, what's going on in her world, maybe sending texts or messages that seem really just friendly and neutral, but it's happening because he's just trying to figure out like what's going on in your world. But it's more of a friend vibe that's existing between the two of us at this point because we cannot see eye to eye about this ex. And, you know, however that is affecting you, it's like we cannot see eye to eye about it. And look at this future. We have Five of Cups. And we have the Knight of Wands. So you have three knights here, okay? Next card would actually be another court card. Oh my God, Queen of Wands. So listen, to me, future is where this is what we're going through. A lot of sadness because of this, you know, wedge that exists. But with the Knight of Wands, to me, this is like a very refreshing energy that comes in on top of this sadness. Like, you know, an epiphany, a change of scenery, a shift in consciousness altogether, because Knight of Swords, again, he could be sharp with the tongue. He's not really emotional. He's not, you know, going to express that you are the sun, moon, and stars to him, even if that's what he feels inside. Like, he's just not going to. He keeps all of his emotions behind a very steady, logical mask. And that doesn't mean like when he gets mad and frustrated he doesn't let that show, but his true deep depth of love and emotion, no, he hides behind the mask of the Knight of Swords and portrays a much more emotionally immature version of himself than he truly is, because this is what exists inside, but this is what I'm going to present to you. Why? Because I'm too damaged about this ex, whatever it is, whether it's the divine feminine's ex or it's his ex that he still just can't get over, whatever. It's just, yeah, he's healing somewhat, you know, and now the future, you know, and we have two fives here. Fives are of challenge, right? If anything, that's all you have here because everything else is court cards. So fives. Fives is change and challenge, and that's where this relationship is at. But we will overcome after this shift in consciousness happens, okay? And here's that Knight of Wands showing that. And when that happens, you know, that's a whole different version of your relationship. It's much warmer. It's flirty, it's passionate, it's, you know, silly, it's fun, it's playful, it's hot, it's fast moving. That's a way different energy than this Knight of Swords, okay? But right now, we're at an impasse about this X energy. So let's do some more clarifying. All right, over here on this side, we have abandon, pride and ego, and bound. Yeah, look at that. The divine masculine, yeah, I have to really stick to now. I don't feel like this is at all, you know, about the divine feminine's ex. If there's children involved, like he's jealous and he just doesn't like that. No, I feel like this ex issue is his ex. Something about a female from his past is really coming in between this connection on his side, okay? Because we have abandon, we have pride and ego, and we have bound. So to me, this is like when, you know, push comes to shove, he's going to run away. He is not Knight of Swords all day right here. I'm not going to say I'm wrong, because I still feel very bound to this energy of my past. I have not healed it. I have not worked through it. And every time divine feminine forces me to face this, it, you know, causes a lot of friction and uncomfortable feelings inside of me, because I'm not quite ready to let this X energy go. And so I'm going to run away. I'm going to make you feel like it's your fault, and I'm going to make you pay for it. I'm going to make you feel really bad about yourself and what you said to me, you know, or your expectations are too high. Like, it's just, I'm going to push it all back on divine feminine. And I'm not going to deal with it. I don't have the emotional energy to deal with it. Why? Because I'm still caught up on this X energy. So let's go, and this is like the past, okay? So let's go to the present. The answer is no. Yep. It's like we're at an impasse. We cannot agree about this issue right here. And because of that, it's put a wedge. There's a 5 here, challenge, because change needs to happen. Yep, action, change needs to happen. And then communication. Yep, so listen, recognition, that's coming. But I just had to take a look because of this. The answer is no, action and communication. We have got to move beyond this impasse, okay? The X thing, it's all about the way we are expressing to each other. And again, I feel like it's divine masculine here that's really kind of manipulating and kind of twisting things around, not because he's a malicious person, because divine feminine is challenging his demons, his darkness inside about his past. And it to be with divine feminine, he has to decide to cut that off, cut that out of his life, this X energy, whatever it is. He's got to let it go. It's got to be healed for him. And honestly, with this, I feel like right now we're deciding, you know what, we're in the present, let's just be friends, you know, and maybe even we're struggling with that because we keep coming to this impasse. But the future holds a recognition, a metamorphosis, exactly what needs to happen. Been coming through this whole reading, and family, look at that. Yep. So whatever the issue is with this X, he will overcome it, okay? He will definitely overcome it. He will recognize his divine feminine, and that's where he belongs now. That's who he wants to make a family with, and that's the tribe he wants to be a part of. But it comes after this shift right here, okay? So let's pull some more romance angels. All right, so we have healing family issues. Look at that. And that to me is just kind of a bonus message, which I feel belongs on Divine Masculine. We have, oh, look at that. Here's the past, separation. Here's the present. We've got to both make the effort equally. And the future, calling in your soulmate. Yeah, there is going to be a recognition on Divine Masculine's side where he's going to really come to terms, but he's got to make the shift in himself. This really feels like it's on him. It's his energy. So let's, I mean, it's pretty obvious, like, what's going on here, that he's having a hard time, you know, letting go of the ex, but, or whatever's wrapped up in that ex energy. Maybe this could even be that he was just so severely burned that it's incredibly scary and challenging and painful to love Divine Feminine, to open up and be vulnerable to her, so afraid of the past. But again, Divine Masculine has got to heal that within himself before he is emotionally available and able to be here for her. So let's take some more look at his shadows. So we have repelled, we have power, and we have walking away. So listen, what I hear in this message right here is when he feels like he's losing the upper hand, or Divine Feminine is starting to go too deep, starting to, his emotions for Divine Feminine are starting to become too powerful, it overwhelms and I'm going to walk away. Or when Divine Feminine is forcing the issue, like, look, this isn't fair, this is what needs to happen, he feels backed into a corner and he's going to walk away. So over here we have abandon, separation, and walk away on his side. That is like his you know, go-to, and why very next card out, because he is unavailable at this time. It has to do with this ex. But again, listen, he will heal this. It's just going to take some time, and this is nothing that can be forced. It cannot be forced. So let's pull some more cards. Okay. Divine Feminine. Look at this. Divine Feminine. He is the distorted masculine right now. Okay. He is the distorted masculine because of this energy. He is not available to give you what you need. So you are better served just being his friend for now, until he is willing to make the effort for the Divine Feminine and purge his past. Because as long as this energy is open and available, he's not forced to face anything. He can always come back, always come back, always come back. Divine Feminine must be strong and cut him off, cut him out, truly only be a friend with no benefits that your, you know, Divine Feminine's girlfriends wouldn't get. No, normal friend, maybe even acquaintance status, all right? And once Divine Feminine closes her energy like that, he can't get at her. He can't get that high from her energy, that pickup, that I'm safe in your arms. No, he will be forced to face his issues and decide, do I want to keep feeling this horrible, you know, sadness within, or keep protecting an ex or my ex situation, whatever it is? Or do I want to just open up to this beautiful soulmate that's offering me nothing but love and happiness and family and connection? Because that's what I see. Divine Feminine offering nothing but love, support, and connection at her wit's end. This should have progressed much further by now. I can't, despite the connection, I can't wait for you any longer. You need to get your crap together. Like, that's where Divine Feminine is coming from. And Divine Masculine, the more she is, you know, really asserting herself, you know, he's repelled. Like, oh, who are you to back me in a corner? You know what? I'll just walk away. Guess what, Divine Feminine? Let him walk and make him own it, because he will be back. He will recognize what you are offering to him, okay? But he has got to make the change inside himself on his own. If this is an inside job, your love will not save him. Your back turned will actually save him, because it's going to teach him that you cannot treat me like this. I am worth something. I'm sorry about whatever has happened in your past, but I'm not going to own it and suffer it because I didn't do it. And I'm offering you something entirely different. But if you want to be stuck there and you want to exist there, Divine Masculine, then by all means, walk. Firm, strong, empowered. I will not tolerate being disrespected like this. This is no. And that wake-up call right there. So let's pull a card for Divine Feminine. Spiritual maturity and connection. Yep, look at that. He's got to have a metamorphosis, okay? But also with this, the Divine Feminine needs to work on her vibration when she thinks of what a romantic relationship is supposed to be. It's not where she carries all the weight, where she's the nurturer, the healer, the provider, the let me keep it all together. No, this has got to be equal. See the two glasses there? It's got to be an equal partnership, okay? It has to be. Divine Masculine has got to bring as much as Divine Feminine is, okay? And that's just, Spirit's like, that's what it's got to be. And instead of accepting less than you deserve because you really care, you really love, Spirit's saying you've got to learn to accept and detach and allow your consciousness to expand to see the challenge and lesson of the energy here and what really needs to happen. Because, here's the thing, ladies, 9 times out of 10, a female has so much more power in a relationship than she knows when she's with a dude who's, back and forth, in and out. The reason why he behaves that way is because there's an established pattern of behavior where that's acceptable. Yes, Divine Feminine might get mad, upset, angry, cry, not talk to him for a few days, whatever, but she's always going to take him back. And as long as he knows, never ask for pre-approval, always beg for forgiveness because it works every time, that's what he's going to do. But once Divine Feminine comes to that realization and recognizes, you know what, if I just cut him off, then what? Then what's he going to do? And when he tries to come back, nope, you've got to grow the F up. You've got to man up. You've got to be a real man. Like, I know your potential, I see your spirit, but you don't play on that, game field. You decide to be something less than because you exist in your past, and I'm just not going to tolerate that. I deserve better. I just feel like Divine Feminine being very firm and assertive of herself without giving any sort of ultimatum or you better change, more like, you know what, I don't think you're the right fit for me. That's kind of a switch in psychology to Divine Masculine. He's not used to that, okay? But you see the harmony of music? Divine Feminine needs to be very, very firm and strong in her expectations of what she expects from her Divine Masculine and accept no less, no matter how much she loves, because you deserve, Divine Feminine, a whole heart. No X energy all up in the mix causing issues, okay? So that is what Spirit has brought out on your side. And again, here in the middle, it's like we're both going to reach, our consciousness is going to expand on both sides, but for different reasons, and come into different understandings and realizations about ourselves, okay? So let me pull some more cards here. This is a special, like what your spirit guide wants you to know specifically about this. Ladybug luck. This to me is your spirit guide saying everything little tarot lady is saying follow with it, and that is how you flip the energy and get things to move more in your favor. It's by really asserting yourself. So how I was saying, both of you need to come into a new version, one or both. I think for Divine Feminine, it's becoming far more assertive of herself and her boundaries. And like that is what brings, it makes her much more alluring, and Divine Masculine starts respecting in a way that he has not previously, okay? Oh, and look at this, coins and support. This is Divine Masculine stepping up. This is what he needs to know is required of him, and nothing less. Divine Feminine will accept nothing less than a man who, you know, is strong all on his own. Doesn't mean, you know, he doesn't have things that hurt and all of that, but he moves with integrity and has respect for Divine Feminine, that no matter what happens, I'm going to honor this, you know, soul and this connection and do right by it, even if it doesn't work out. Like, that's the energy you Divine Feminine needs from him, okay? And lastly, look at that, lots of orbs. Orbs of light, sorry, spirit realm. So I asked for what is it that your spirit guide wanted to tell you specifically about this connection. And here they are, right here, coming through in your reading, okay? So if this is really resonating with you, you know, keep asking your spirit guides for more signs. And 777, rapid soul development that comes from challenging times. Is that not pretty much the entire reading? How we're talking about the challenge that exists in between, and it's always for growth and change, right? And look at here, 777, rapid soul growth that comes from challenging times. That's what's going on here, okay? And you just have to have faith and let the Divine Masculine do his work. Also, when you see 777, that is a sign from your spirit guides that they're with you, that you're on the right track. If you've asked a question, okay, 777, very synchronistic for this particular reading. Now, let me see. I'm really, like, I wanted to pull a whole lot more, but I feel like this is almost complete, but let me think for a second. Yes, that's what I want to do. I want to pull and see what the metamorphosis of energy is for Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine. All right, Divine Masculine. Ooh, Black Jaguar, Old Soul. So this particular Divine Masculine, there's a lot to him. I understand why we are so attracted. He will always be mysterious, always. However, very few ever get past the gates of this man's heart. And the person who did, this ex, really burned him, and that's why he's having such a hard time opening up to this Divine Feminine. Does not mean he doesn't have feeling. It's just he doesn't want to because of where he's been and what's happened. So if he's not actively hung up on his ex, he keeps backing away because this is just too real for him. This says, walk through life with confidence and grace. You have power from beyond the world. Focus on what you really want. You can create your dreams. So this is who he transforms into. This is the version of himself after he works through all of this energy. Divine Feminine, oh, look at that. She's coming out as Hummingbird, miracles. You are the joy bringer. You bless the world with positivity and love. Energy soars on your shining wings. Spread the miracle of happiness. Yes, Divine Feminine is something very special, okay? And she is not replaceable. She is very healing to Divine Masculine soul. But again, he's still got some things that he needs to work through, okay, in order to really get to a place where, all right, I feel I gotta pull a couple more messages. Okay. I'm reminded of you constantly. I'm finally feeling the consequences of my actions. And I'm a better person because of you. So listen, Divine Feminine. This right here is saying exactly, sometimes you've got to cut somebody off and let them walk in order for them to figure it out and realize how you need to be treated, and that you can't take any more of it. And everything you've done and been is not for nothing. It's definitely in his heart, but he has got to work through this issue of X energy, however that pertains to him. And so let's pull some cards for the next 6 months of Divine Masculine, since that's where it seems like the main holdup is. Let's see what his journey is for the next 6 months. And I'm recording this on February 7th. So let's see. So July, between now and July 7th. Ooh, oh my gosh, look at that. 2, 7, and 7, 7. Spirit's so good. Those sevens. So what is up with Divine Masculine between 2, 7 and 7, 7, which makes 3 sevens. Card already came out. I love it. Love it. Okay. Ooh, yeah. He's really going to have some wake-up calls. He's still fighting it a bit, though. But Spirit is really working on him. Divine Feminine has really gotten deep inside of his soul. No question. Yeah, look at it. It's like, I don't want anybody to get, he's like, I want to be this. I always want to be a mystery. I don't want anybody to penetrate. All right. Here's the gatekeeper of what exists within Divine Masculine. Okay. Gatekeeper right here. I am trying so hard to be in control and protect myself and not let anybody see the real me. Okay. But also with this, it's like Spirit bringing a wake-up call to Divine Masculine's actions and the way he behaves and the way he's handling things because of the Hierophant in this position. And then, look at, this is like higher, guidance really coming into him saying, hey, listen, you have a chance here with Divine Feminine at a whole brand new start, a whole brand new beginning. Card 5, card 6, progression of energy. So that's, what's going on there. And then, yeah, to clarify the, Page of Swords, we have the Judgment. He's really got to work on some things, but he is, gosh, so bad. He just doesn't want to face it. He really doesn't. But listen, Divine Feminine, he does not want to fight with you at all. And he wants, because the 5 of Swords in this position, and here's another 5, which is challenge, right? Challenge and change. Because of this energy where we have this impasse, we can't agree, there's this disconnect, this separation, like, I get to the point where he is reaching to the higher power to mend this relationship. So this is over the course of the next 6 months. Like, he's really going to be feeling this. And because of this, in the 6 months, look at that, card 6, because of that, I feel, within 3 to 5 months, 3 to 5 weeks, things might really start shifting inside of him. Yep. Star, Queen of Swords, 5 of Wands. Here's that 5 of Wands again. The Fool, Knight of Wands. Here's the Knight of Wands again. And then I love this. We have the the 9 of Wands. So yes, he is going to come to the understanding that he wants this divine feminine. And look at the Fool on his side walking back towards his divine feminine next to the Star. Like, I want to heal. I want to come in balance. Also, I kind of feel, you know, you got the Shooting Star, you got the Star, and Old Soul, Miracles, the Spirit Guide card coming out specifically. You guys have a, you know, guardian angel, guardian spirit that's going to make sure divine masculine works out what he needs to work out and returns back. It's just, it's right there. And, you know, we're still a bit guarded, okay, when we come back, but we've really thought about things. We're owning ourselves, you know, and because this is showing as the Queen of Swords and we're looking at divine masculine energy, I feel that we're coming out like the Queen, because he's still going to not be incredibly expressive. However, it's a much softer version of him, and a much deeper version of him that's warmer and like, okay, let's go on an adventure together. Let's see where this takes us. Because it's like he overcomes the inner conflict and realizes it's not worth the struggle because he just wants his divine feminine. Do you see that? The struggle, all of this is not worth losing her. That is my prize. That is what I want right there. So, let's see. Let's pull some advice for divine feminine, since it really looks like she is the one in the struggle here. I feel like I gotta give these a shuffle. Okay, and pull 3. Okay. So we have knowledge. Let me connect above and below. Let the knowledge of the ancestors flow. Yeah, that to me is the confirmation that there is this guardian angel, guardian spirit that's going to ensure you guys come into what you need to know and understand for that consciousness expansion to lead you back together. Because remember, every time you see 777, that's this beautiful spirit guide that is in charge of this union. Study. Let my mind be clear and strong. Let me study well and long. Yeah, see, there's work to do on both sides. We got knowledge and study, but again, I know a lot has to happen more on the divine masculine, but and then look at this, romance, and 23 would be a 5. Romance, it is a sacred power. Let it come to me this hour. This to me is like, listen, divine feminine, because this is your advice. This shift in consciousness really needs to happen for him. And, you know, we already talked about, you know, what needs to happen for you. But after that, he will be ready to offer this, but not until that shift takes place in him. And based upon what we see here, I definitely see that taking place in the next 6 months, okay? So I will leave the reading there. And again, this is intended to either fit your situation 100% or not. So with that said, I am wishing you all the best. Take care.